Good morning, folks, and welcome to our daily technical analysis video. In today's segment, we'll be looking at the Bitcoin price, which is bouncing off from its lows from yesterday's low. And the question really is, can we see the Bitcoin price continue to move higher from here onwards, or are we heading to the downside? That is exactly what we'll be looking at, and in terms of various different price levels. Before we do that, as always, it is important for me to go through this brief disclaimer, which is right in front of you. Now, let me bring out the MT4 platform and we will have a look at the daily chart. Before we do that, it is just very briefly about myself. I come with a wealth of 15 years of trading experience. During this time period, I have worked as a hedge fund trader for Bank of New York Mellon and as an equity trader with Bank of America. Now, currently providing services as a chief analyst to EverTrade. Now, what we have currently in front of us is the daily chart. And on the daily chart, what we really see is this intense sort of sell-off for the last number of days and weeks. Because since the price touched its all-time high of that 65,000 with respect to BTC, what we have seen is the momentum to the downside. And Bitcoin price is, since then it has struggled to move higher, because what we are seeing consistently from there onwards is this sideways momentum where the price is failing to have a new direction. And in addition to that, we have some more bearish signals forming, such as over here and such as over here. So let me explain them in a little bit more detail to explain what are these moving averages. First of all, what are these lines at? So this one over here is your 50-day simple moving average. This one over here is your 100-day simple moving average. And this one over here is your 200-day simple moving average. Now, why do I have these moving averages on the chart? Because this is what institutional investors will very much look at, because they will look at these moving averages and then they will see where the price is trading. For them, as long as the price continues to trade above these moving averages, they will know that bulls are in control of the price. But if the price starts to break below them, like it did over here and here and here, they will say that, okay, now it is bears which are very much in control of the price, but at the same time, they will also know that the price is oversold, especially when the price begins to trade below the 200-day simple moving average, which is over here. But this is the death cross, perhaps which you've been listening for the last few days. That is when the 50 crosses below the 200-day simple moving average, and it confirms that the price is more likely to see further downward pressure. Now, of course, the big question for investors and traders really is, are we going to see this particular momentum to the upside? Will we see the price continuing to move to the upside, given the fact that we have seen two positive candles back to back as of yesterday and of course today as well, and which hasn't happened in a fairly long period of time, as you can see from here. But in order to see that bullish momentum continue from here, what we really need is the price breaking this 39,400 sort of a resistance, which is right over here, because only then we can say that the price is more likely to move to the upside from here onwards. Otherwise, this momentum to the downside is very much likely to continue. Now, why do I see that? Because look over here, for example, this was the low which was formed after this massive sell-off, and if we focus the lows of yesterday, we can clearly see that this one is lower than this one. So that confirms us that this sort of a sideways pattern that we have been looking at for some period of time has actually started to break to the downside. Of course, we have this violation of this sideways pattern to the upside as well, which is right over here. But now there is more pressure to the downside. So of course the question is, where do we see the price moving to the downside? Where is that important support zone? Now, of course, guys, if you like the content, if you like what we are really talking about here, do please give us a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to the channel. Why? Because markets change, and that means you need to be very much aware of where the market price action is going to be moving forward. Now, for me, the next important sort of a price level in terms of a support zone is not really where the price is trading now. In fact, it is at 21 to 24,000. So really sort of at this area over here where we could see buying pressure coming in. Of course, there is this area as well between just below the current area where the price can potentially move to the upside, but this one is much better area of support. And also we are going to refine and define these particular two the current support zones. So first of all, I'm going to change them into greens just to confirm that it is our support zone, and so just to have that differentiation from that resistance zone. So we are going to be running this one from 31 to 38,000 sort of a price level. So let me quickly change that to green, as you can see. So now we can see that this is our first, but this is a better area of support zone. But this over here, right over here, is an area which is the one I like the most over here in between them, where the prices can eventually see some sort of a bounce coming. Now quickly looking into the 4-hour time frame, what we really need to see over here is a price breaking above these moving averages. And in addition to that, if we go into a 30-minute time frame, we can already see the bullish momentum coming in. But what we need to see is the price staying above the 50-day simple moving average over here. And if the 50 moves above the 100, that would be further bullish signal in terms of a Bitcoin price action. On top of that, we have this bullish pattern also formed, which is our head, shoulder, and shoulders, which is likely to push the price up by another 4,000 price level from here. So 32 add another 4,000. So we're really talking about that 36,000 price level in terms of this particular price action. So to summarize, price needs to stay above the 50, and 50 needs to move above the 100-day simple moving average over here in order for this trend to really sort of continue its journey to the upside. That's all for now. See you guys next time.